Welcome, bienvenidos. It's Roxana from Metamorphosis Rocks, and today I'm going to do a small commentary. No, it's not political. It's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to see how you guys feel about it. And I was watching Drag T. He has this series of videos about drag queens that have beef with each other, and this one is the newest one. It was released an hour ago when I'm as of filming this, and he was talking about this Filipino queen who was caught. Apparently, in her past, she had done blackface, and she did this whole apology explaining certain circumstances regarding the situation, but then went on to basically backtrack by asking the following question. I'm not going to read the whole question. I'm just going to make the point that I'm trying to make. If some black people is calling out white people for cultural appropriation, then why black people are using straight blonde wigs? Isn't it cultural appropriation also? Now, when I read the apology that this person wrote, as someone that was not raised in the U.S., I kind of understood where the person was coming from. And what I mean by that is that in, I want to say the 60s, the 70s, maybe even the 80s, probably the 90s, if you watch Latino, in my case, Puerto Rican television, you would notice that certain people would wear makeup to make their skin either lighter or darker based on the character that they were playing. So if they were playing an American and they couldn't find somebody that was white enough, they would basically use light skin color. And unfortunately, if the person was darker, they would use darker foundation. Not necessarily all the way blackface like in the 50s and the 60s here in the United States, although I seem to recall that I saw that too, but majority was more of a darker tone to make yourself darker or whatever, depending on what character you were playing. So I can understand that this Filipino queen was talking about, well, when we were impersonating black people, we used to go all the way. And I understand that, okay? Understanding doesn't mean that I agree with it. Let me be very clear about number one. Number two, just because I understand you doesn't mean that you can then come back, apologize, and then come up with this question. And the reason is very simple. And I'm going to go by levels. The easy answer to that would be, well, anybody can color their hair yellow or blonde, I should say. But not everybody can take the color of their skin off. That would be the easy answer. The more educated answer, I don't know how to say it, okay, is the fact that clearly this person, because they're from the Philippines, does not live in the United States, probably hasn't seen or doesn't know or is not educated on the racial stereotypes, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and the whole history of blackface. I want you to understand something that sometimes my friends here don't understand, and this is not a black people problem, a white people problem. This is an American people problem. You are not the center of the universe as much as you think you are, because you police every other country and you tell everybody else what to do. We here in the United States are not the center of the universe. This is why I tell people to travel, because when you travel, you realize how insignificant you are in comparison to other people. This is also why I tell people to learn other languages, because, or at least learn a few words, so that the people in the country that you're visiting say that you are trying. Because, to be honest with you, Americans have a fairly bad reputation everywhere else. In fact, I tend to start in Spanish no matter where I am, because I know for a fact that Americans have a bad reputation pretty much everywhere else. I would be more accepted as a Puerto Rican than as an American. And no, there is no such thing as Puerto Rican American, by the way, but that's a story for another day. But what I'm trying to say is this. I can sort of understand where this person is coming from in terms of artistically speaking, because I grew up seeing that. That doesn't mean that you have the right to question something like that with a comparison between hair and skin. We can all shave our heads. We can all color. Well, I'm living example. We can all color our hairs whatever color we want, fairly inexpensively and fairly easily. You cannot change the color of your skin, and I'm not talking about white to dark, because yes, you can tan. I'm talking about a black person cannot change the color of their skin without a major expense involved. Or if they have a disease, not a disease, a condition like vitiligo, I think it's how you say it in English. That's a different story. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a person that is black. And the darker, the harder it's going to be. For a person who is black to try to change their skin, to lighten their skin, yes, there are products around. And yes, I'm very much aware that in Asian countries, there is this whole thing about putting some chemicals in your face to lighten your skin. But again, I said, without much expense, you're not going to compare a $7 bottle of purple color with, I don't even know how much those chemical peels and those things cost. But I can guarantee you they're not $7. Because if they were, everybody that wants to change the color of their skin would do it. Yes, I do believe there's a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. This is not what I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking about somebody making a comment like that, comparing skin tone with hair color. It's ignorant on so many levels. Not just the easy one, which I keep coming back to, which is the hair color is very different from your skin color. It's also ignorant because it dismisses the history of blackface in America. And I think a lot of people, this is why I said that we're not the center of the universe, a lot of people may have heard of the concept of blackface, but unless you're directly impacted by something, most people don't know about it, if you know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I'm just curious, what do you think about, first of all, making an apology to then take it back, because that's essentially what happened. And second of all, what do you think? Do you think it was a proper comparison to compare hair color to skin color? And do you think it's appropriate from somebody who is not from the United States to make a statement like that? Like, isn't that culture? I leave it to you. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.